Well, pretty exciting. My Saluda 12 Liquid Logic sit-in kayak has just arrived from Capacity Sports in Moorabbin in Melbourne, and I think I purchased my first kayak from them about 20 years ago, and if not a little bit more. So really excited about this craft, and after a lot of research and looking for a craft as I get older that's easy to get into, glides well, paddles well, this was my choice. It's fairly light to get on a reasonable sized four-wheel drive, so I should be able to manage it, and there'll be a further video to look at how I manage that. But particularly for those looking for a recreational kayak, this is probably a good craft. Stable, glides well, paddles well. So let's unpack it and get into it. Capacity Sports do a great job of packaging and freighting, so really nothing to worry about there. They really make sure the craft is well protected, well padded, nicely packaged, and their freight's fast and not overly expensive if you're in Victoria. At all. It's very reasonable, so I think top job done there, and you can be ensured your craft arrives in good condition. One of the first things we see that I like about this kayak is that you've got a fixed secure handle here that's hard. That's really good, solid. And that's a great thing. A lot of the canvas straps you see on craft these days are just canvas. They do rot. They get wet, they rot, and you have to replace them. So that's a great idea. It gives you good anchoring point for lifting, portage, and even securing. So that's a good practical idea. So let's have a look at this. As we come back, great hatch. The brilliant thing is you've got actually two hinges, so you can either open it from here, like that, where you've got a decent well, and that bulkhead is a good lifesaver for your kayak, because if you do go over, that is basically a flotation tank in there of air, and really easy locks. And also can do the same from this side, which means you can access, while you're actually kayaking, you can actually access your locker there. So that's just a practical design bonus, and very useful. Let's continue opening this. So there she blows. What a beautiful looking craft, it really is, and quite liking the green. I wasn't brave enough to go the orange, but I am a believer that you need to be seen on the water. After kayaking a lot of places with boats, both in the sea and in lakes, you need to be seen. It's too easy in a boat, and as a boat operator I know, too easy to actually miss a kayak. They're low in the water, depending on the light, they're hard to see, and when you're travelling in a boat and you've got other things in your mind from getting point A to point B, quite often you may not pick up a low-lying craft in the water, especially if there's a bit of chop or a bit of swell where they're disappearing occasionally. So this Saluda 12 from Capacity, Liquid Logic, a part of a bigger family of kayaks that involve a couple of brands, Wilderness Systems, which I've had a couple of craft from and extremely good, been making kayaks for a long time in the US, and this is a quality craft and quite different from what you will buy en masse from some of the big retail outlets. So it does pay to get a decent kayak. If you're going to use it more than just recreationally, you want one that's going to be that's safe, and one that is fun to use. Another feature here of this Saluda 12 is the center console, and you've got a track here for sort of a Railblazer attachment, whether it's a fishing rod holder or a action camera stand. Quite useful because it's close to the cockpit where you'll be sitting, and also you've got a little spring storage box there. You could put, possibly your phone in there, or set of car keys, but I would advise attaching them or putting them inside a waterproof dry bag for storage. So probably the most essential thing is a paddle, and I've been paddling for many years, and I've had a break from it since COVID actually, so that's why I'm getting back into it. I've got a bit of a medical condition that I need to start working on my fitness seriously, and however, I have paddled for many years, and so I invested in, I know the value of a really decent paddle. So this is a graphite shaft Wolverine carbon graphite. It's an exceptionally light, stiffer paddle, which will give me the thrust through the water with my paddling stroke, and a lovely paddle. And you can see it's one that breaks down, which is very convenient for travel. I've also got a dry jacket top, which is a splash jacket by a Gill, and that just keeps the wind off you on those colder days and keeps the spray off you a little bit. Also got a hand bilge pump just to keep in the stern, so that just in case you do capsize and you want to get water out of your craft quickly. And also there's a inflatable bag basically that you put in the front part of the kayak, which inflates and forms like a triangular cone of air, and essentially it creates another bulkhead, a flotation bulkhead in the front of your craft. And it's probably something that is just an added little bit of security. I'm not getting any younger, and I really don't. If I go in, I want a kayak that I can actually get the water out of while I'm in the water and get back into and reach dry land to get the rest of the water out. Well, I'm pretty excited, probably an understatement. I love my kayaking. I haven't been in the water since pre-COVID. I sold a couple of kayaks with big fishing craft, and they were sit on tops. I worked as a kayaker back as my first ever job out of university, and I actually mapped every underbranch and lagoon from the New South Wales border to the Murray Mouth, and wrote a series of 7 canoeing guides that are still in production today. And back then we used Beeline fiberglass canoes, which were sit-in, and had a lot of adventures in those. But I'm really excited to be back in a sit-in. I think it's a great craft. Many thanks to Capacity. As I say, I've used them for over 20 years, I'm not sponsored by them, but I trust them as a supplier, and the craft I've had native watercraft, I've had wilderness systems, and I've always had great service from them. So big shout out to them and thank you. Keep an eye on my channel, because I will be bringing further updates as I take this on the water for the first time, and hopefully have some good adventures in it.